Friends, at this time we are going to begin services from Mae Nessenson. I'd ask again, if anyone has a cell phone or a noise-making device, if you take a moment right now to please turn it off or put it in the silent mode. We do have additional chairs, so if anyone would like to sit, especially those who have trouble standing, you're more than welcome to take a seat. Additionally, it's very warm out. Please feel free to take your jackets off. You don't have to stand on formality here. We just want people to be safe. We also have cold towelettes and plenty of cold water if anyone needs it. And officiating our services today is Rabbi Toby Manowitz. We'll be starting the services today with the traditional Kriya.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was quite fortunate to know Mae and saw her for the last time about a month ago. I was in the Carrington seeing somebody else, and there she was in the dining room. And actually, the truth is that I had been coming in and out of the Carrington quite frequently, and every time I had my eye out, hoping to see Mae, because she was always just so full of life and so happy that I always just kept my eye out a little and was really so pleased when I had a chance to see her. One tradition at a Jewish funeral, if you've never been before, is to cut a ribbon. A long time ago, when someone heard of the death of an immediate family member, they would cut their clothing. They would just tear whatever they were wearing. And in modern times, we've gotten a little egocentric, and we don't want to cut what we're wearing and wear cut clothing. So we have a ribbon. So I'm just going to walk over. And traditionally, someone would wear that ribbon. They would wear the clothing for 7 days, those same clothing, and they would do it as a sign of saying something in our life has been torn, something in our life has been ripped away. So we'll start with a few prayers. Death has taken our beloved Mae. Our friends grieve in their darkened world. In their silence, there is lamentation. In their tears, there is loneliness. Lost in their sorrow, may they find the presence of loving friends. For Mae's love that united us in life, which death cannot sever. For her companionship that we shared along life's path, and which continues through the tenderness of memory. For gifts of her heart and mind that brought us joy and happiness, it is now a precious remembrance. For all of these and more, we give thanks. In this time of grief, we listen to the voice of our sacred scriptures that bring us the ever-new message of God's nearness. Adonai, who may abide in your house, who may dwell in your holy mountain? Those who are upright, who do justly, who speak truth within their hearts, who do not slander others or wrong them or bring shame upon them, who give their word and come what may do not retract. Those who live in this way shall never be shaken. if you'll read with me, you have in your books the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. When I spent time at the Carrington and spent time leading services, I know that Mae always enjoyed the music. So I'll sing a bit from a psalm. Esaina el harim me'ayin yavo ezri. Esaina el harim me'ayin yavo ezri. Ezri me'em Adonai Oseh shamayim v'aretz. Ezri me'em Adonai Oseh shamayim v'aretz. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. What is the source of my help? My help comes from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your protector will not slumber. See, the protector of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian. God is your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. God will guard your soul, your going and your coming, now and forever. I wanted to share a few words about Mae. Before I came, actually, I was mentioning to some that I have a 14-year-old son, and before I came, I had taken him to get school supplies, and then he's a little bit of a fashion guy, and I said, do you think, which of these two dresses should I wear? And he said, do you have anything less colorful than that? And so here I am, but I said that I thought that it would be okay with me if I had worn something, if I had worn something different. So many of members of Mae's family and people who were important to her sent me some notes. So I'm just going to read a little bit of what I've put together, and then I'm going to invite you, if anyone else would like to share a story or a remembrance. We would love that. I don't always connect my words to the Torah portion of the week, but today it seems apt. You may know that the Jewish people read the Torah cyclically, finishing the 5th book sometime in the fall before starting from the beginning again. The portions read at this time of year are part of a long speech Moses gives the children of Israel, recounting their journey, reminding them of what they've learned along the way and all they were given. Across her life, Mae, or Aunt Mae to many present today, taught many things and gave many gifts. Mae, along with her beloved Maury, brought her great-nieces and nephews, many of whom saw her as a grandmother figure, to the theater. Annie Get Your Gun, Hello Dolly, The Wizard of Oz, Arsenic and Old Lace, Guys and Dolls. They saw Oklahoma, Mae's favorite, 2 or 3 times. Of course, no theater excursion was complete without brunch with the best bagels and lox. Later, Aunt Mae and Uncle Maury watched their great niece perform in Bye Bye Birdie in Cabaret, sharing that their son Jean played the lead role in Cabaret when he was younger. Beyond instilling her love of theater, other family members said that she was extremely wise and always gave good, logical advice. She was always a caring teacher. In the portion we read this week, Moses tells the people that when they go into the land, they should bring first fruits. In other words, when you go out among other people, always bring the best of what you have and who you are. Mae certainly did that. Mae was the definition of strength and love. She always said, mind over matter. She was a celebration of life, a fashionista. She had jewelry for every occasion, and maybe a little bit more. She loved bold pieces and vibrant colors. She always had a great smile on her face and a firm handshake. She was funny and generous. She loved to shop for beautiful things that she would give to the people she loved. She always brought presents with her. One great niece told me about a wristwatch, which she still has, with colorful birds on the watch face, a different bird for every hour. Mae was full of energy. She wanted to keep herself mentally active and achieved this by playing bridge, reading, watching movies, and visiting with friends. She loved to discuss current events. Before lockdown, she had her own activity at the Carrington called Mae's News and Views, where every week she met with other residents and discussed current events and other important topics. She loved to talk politics. She loved to travel too. The last time she was able to was when she went to Florida 4 years ago. She went to Disney World and other beautiful places. And even though people thought that Disney World wasn't necessarily appropriate for a woman her age, Mae understood that it was for the young and the young at heart. As her family loved Mae, Mae loved her family. She enjoyed a long, beautiful marriage with Maury and son Jean, both of blessed memory. Mae was very close to her sister June. They spoke on the phone every day. They lived across the street when the kids were growing up and saw each other all the time. They would have breakfast every Saturday morning, and the parents had dinner every Tuesday night. Even when they no longer lived by, the family continued to see each other frequently and spent holidays together. Mae, for someone her age, was quite computer literate. COVID could not stop her from being with family, who she met via Zoom just to talk and to celebrate important occasions like birthdays and holidays. She clearly loved all of those who called her Aunt Mae, making time for them in grammar school and college until recent days when they visited and talked. Angel, who took care of Aunt Mae and Uncle Maury, became part of the family and a son figure to Mae. Mae would never say no when Angel asked. It would be hard to sum up just what Angel meant to Mae, how his deep care allowed her to enjoy life in the world until just a few days ago. Each and every person who spoke to me or sent me their words talked about how Mae was more than a great aunt, more than a sister. You considered her to be like a grandmother and a dear friend. You talked of your gratitude to have known her and spent time with her. You said that Mae would think that it was okay to be sad, but said that you should also reminisce and celebrate a life well lived. You all said that shows she isn't here physically, she's here through her spirit, and that she will always live through your hearts. So may it be. If there's anyone who'd like to share a reminiscence or a few words, I invite you forward. If you have something to shade yourself like a hat, the sun is coming down. Come.
Bill, want to sit down? I can get up.
Hi, I'm Steve Kelly. I am June Carlin's son-in-law, and I wanted to thank Angel Musney for living up to his name and caring for Mae these past few years. Thank you, Angel. I married into this wonderful and intimate family 42 years ago, and it has been at least this long since this Midwestern small-town boy became part of the Atlas, Carlin, and Nessenson's clan and the related relatives. It was a real adventure for us all to become familiar with each other over the years. And it was very much like Woody Allen's movie Annie Hall. Mae, Maury, and Jean were an integral part of this memory as we spent just about every Thanksgiving and Seder together. Sometimes at Mae and Maury's house on Karloff, sometimes with June and Harvey. That is until the baton was passed to Susan and I about 30 years ago, and so now it always happens at our house. When these family gatherings moved to our house, Maury would always be the first to stand up from the table and pronounce, "Mae, it is time to go now." I'm sure that some of you remember that with some fondness. You remember that? Angel told us that early Wednesday morning, Mae had told him that she was going to see Maury before she passed peacefully in her sleep. I can't help but wonder if Maury was there saying softly to her, "Mae, it's time to go now." Rest in peace, Aunt Mae.
I'm Aunt Mae's niece, and I didn't have anything planned, and caught a 4 a.m. plane this morning, so I'm a little tired, but when I was in California and my husband was unemployed for a little while, Aunt Mae would call me once a month, talk to me about her hard times, and always called, and she just helped me so much. And all those years with all the trouble Jean and I would get into, and it was just listening to my Aunt Mae's high-toned voice, "Jean, Rana," and we would just sit and look at lightning bugs at Grandma's house. But Aunt Mae, Uncle Maury, even before the last time I saw you, you gave me your finger to touch, and I touched your finger, and that was it. And Jean, I miss you guys so much. And Jean, your picture's in my house everywhere, and I still have your teddy bear. I love you so much, and I miss you so much, and I miss our Zooms, but you look so peaceful, and I know Jean and Maury are so happy to see you. And you had a really long life. You said you wanted to make it to 95 because that's when Uncle Maury died, but you surpassed him. So I love you. I just love you so much.
I'm Elaine. I'll wait for the plane. I'm Elaine Kaufman. I also didn't prepare anything, but which is not like me. But I really feel compelled to say something. When I told my husband that Mae passed away, he said, "She was an amazing person. She was so sharp." And Ben would help Mae with her taxes, so he knew what sharp was. And when I told our youngest daughter, she reminisced. Mae and Maury would have our two youngest girls. We're neighbors, and actually the relationship goes back much farther because our parents were friends with Mae and Maury probably from college days, I believe. My cousin is shaking her head. She's telling me I'm accurate. But when they would go on vacation, Shira and Vera would go take care of their cats. And both of them became cat ladies, thanks to thanks to me. So, oh, and also Bennett asked me to tell Angel that he's wonderful. So they were really a cute twosome, and we enjoyed this friendship. It's not everybody you can say, we've had a friendship until, till age 97. So her death was what she deserved. She deserved to have a pleasant, peaceful death, and it's good that she got it.
I'm Robin Nyberg, and I'm the daughter of Renee and Max Nyberg. And the Nyberg family has been close to the Nessenson family for a long time. My father and Mae worked together at Orr High School. And I personally know Mae in my own life 39 years. At some point, Mae started referring to herself, to me, as Aunt Mae. And it's already been mentioned, apparently, she became Aunt Mae to many people. Our relationship became cemented when Mae decided as an adult to learn to swim, and I was her instructor. Learning as an adult to swim is very challenging, but Mae was not put off. Maybe this is a metaphor for her life. Mae is one of the most exceptional people I've ever met. The hole in my heart is big, and I will so miss our conversations. She never lost a desire to learn something new. Her curious big brain. As we all know, she was a student of world events. She supported the arts. She ushered for the Saints with my parents for many years. She was always in my corner. She took a genuine interest in my life, and she always gave wise counsel, and she was always wanting to try and help me move forward. And when I was with her, she always told me a new story about my parents, which I had never heard before, and that's priceless. She inspired me to be a better friend, a better family member, and a better world citizen. Thank you, Mae, for being a role model for a life well lived. And what helps me today, and other people have said this, that she's with Maury and Jean, and she's talking politics, current events, and she's playing bridge with my parents, Max and Renee. I love you, Mae. May you be at peace.
Bill, do you want to sit down? Excuse me, I'm just going to go through.
Good afternoon. I'm Marilyn Warshawski, and I worked with Mae at Orr High School for, I think, approximately 4 or 5 years. When I started at Orr High School, this was my first full-time job, and I was a little hesitant at the time, and Mae showed me the way. By coincidence, we were relatively neighbors. She lived about not even 5 minutes from my home. When she found that out, she decided to join me in the morning to drive to Orr. And I don't need to tell you guys that neighborhood and the school, were not the greatest, even though our principal, Kevin Van Spankland, Dr. Kevin Van Spankland, used to say, Orr is the garden spot of the West Side. I can tell you though, Mae was a very dedicated teacher. A little aside, when I picked her up, there were days when she was starting to discuss agendas and various other things pertaining to our work, because we were in the same department. While I'm trying to drive, and it took a lot of effort sometimes not to get distracted, because I'm trying to keep my eyes on the road. But saying this, I can tell you that Mae was a very dedicated person, and she had, like the rest of us, have to put up with a lot of the adversity of working in an inner city high school, and especially in special ed. So she was a fine teacher. That's the main thing. And we would, after she retired, and for a number of years, several of us from our department, and then a couple who weren't in our department joined us. We would meet like 2 or 3 times a year for lunch, and she was the one who kind of got all of us together, since she was a great leader. So again, she'll be missed sorely, and like Ms. Nyberg was saying, that she's up in heaven now with Jean and Maury and other people who touched her lives. Thank you. I'll go around here.
I'll have a couple words. I'm Jerry Nessenson. I'm Mae's nephew, and probably at this point the oldest Nessenson in the family. And Mae was a unique person. She was smart, but she was also logical. She was funny, and she had a unique ability to never say anything bad about anything. My mother being my dad, Bill, I would say my mother, if you knew her, was somewhat difficult. And for Mae to have the relationship with her for 60 years and always call and say, how are you doing? Is there anything I can do for you? And have a nice day was pretty remarkable over all those years. She's very tolerant, as not quite Maury. If you know, Maury was a little bit more adverse to a lot of things. And when I went into the Marine Corps during Vietnam, come back, and both of them had become pacifists, even though Maury had a great record in World War II, as Seymour, his brother, did. My dad had stayed back. He was 4F, had a problem, but started a business that William Ness Company ultimately supported most of the Nessenson family with Maury and Seymour's help for many years, and it became very successful. All three of them had extremely different personalities, and it was unique to watch there and work there and see how they all got along, and a lot of it was Mae's doing and settling everybody down. But she was, as I say, unique. Never said anything bad about anyone. Accepted my role in the Marine Corps as Maury did not. So she was the peacemaker for the people that needed peace. And I'm sure each one of you have seen those qualities and felt that it was kind of remarkable that she was able to do that. I want to say a special word about Angel. I think it's over 20 years that he not only cared for Maury and Mae, but I'm not sure who adopted who. I don't think it matters who adopted who. And I'm sure that his care and friendship gave her many more years of comfort and life. And I certainly hope we as a family will make sure that Angel is duly rewarded for his time, effort, and friendship. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Karen, and June's daughter, and are known as Kiki to most of you. I just want to, one of my most vivid memories of Aunt Mae is in the middle of a discussion when we're all talking at once, and Aunt Mae says, "Now it's my turn." So I want her to have her turn. Everybody imagine Aunt Mae in one of her most amazing outfits, and you know there were a lot of them. And Angel posted so many of those on Facebook. Imagine Aunt Mae in her beautiful outfit, and think of something she said to you that really meant something to you. So Aunt Mae, it's your turn to have your say. Everybody, let Aunt Mae have her say. Think of something she's said to you over the years that's been important to you and carry that with you. Thank you.
What a lovely, beautiful thing to say. And actually, we're reaching a point in our service where we take a moment to think. God, you gave us the loved ones and make them the strength of our life, the light of our eyes. They depart and leave us bereft on a lonely way. To you, the stricken look for comfort and the sorrow-laden for consolation. O God, we see life as through windows that open on eternity. We see love that endures and the soul endures, as you, O God, endure forever. We see that the years are more than grass that withers, more than flowers that fade. They weave a timeless pattern in a world that is a dwelling place of your love and glory. Now, I'm not much of a scientist. I clearly studied other things. But I once had a professor of physics in a congregation who taught me that energy doesn't change, that the amount of energy in the universe at any time is constant. I like to think about that. It's a little bit over my head, but I think I understand the concept. I like to think about that on a day such as today. Mae had such great energy. Mae had such strength and such passion and such humor and generosity and kindness. So I like to think that that energy is still here, because the energy in the world is constant. We talked about Mae physically not being here, but we know that in the memories and in the lessons that all of that kindness and caring and humor and fashion flair will distribute itself among this crowd. We're going to take just a moment of silent prayer. Then I'm going to ask you all to rise. Please rise in either body or spirit. If you can't stand, it's just fine. El Malei Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Hamtzeh Menucha Nechona, תחת כנפי השכינה, עם קדושים וטהורים, Kizhor harakia mazhirim et nishmat Mae Nessenson shalach l'olama. Compassionate God, eternal spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Mae, who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge in your eternal presence, and let her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace, and together we say, Amen. Right. You can be seated. So we are getting ready to lower the coffin, which will take a few moments. When we're done lowering, we're going to ask anyone who wishes to help put dirt on the grave. It's Jewish tradition to put dirt on a grave for really one reason. You know, long ago, there weren't large corporate cemeteries, so it was a great honor for people to bury their loved ones. Today, even though now we have the equipment, it's still a great honor, and we think in Judaism that it's one of the greatest mitzvot, one of the greatest commandments we can do, because lots of things that we do for other people, maybe they can do for us. We bring them a meal when they're sick, they bring us a meal when we're sick, right? We celebrate a wedding, they celebrate a wedding. But this is really one of those mitzvot that we do that we don't get anything physical in return. The only return we get is spiritual. When we go to put dirt on the grave, there's a tradition. The tradition is to put 3 scoops of earth, but if you put more than that, or even if you put that, the tradition is to put the shovel upside down, right? A shovel upside down doesn't work all that well. And we put the shovel upside down to say that we're doing this. It's our obligation. We have to do this. But we really don't want to, and we don't want it to go fast. So we don't do it as efficiently as we can. So in a moment we'll be ready. I'll invite immediate family, close family up first, and then we'll form some lines. there's a tradition to sprinkle earth from Israel on the grave. The idea is that if such a time exists where there's an ingathering and people come back to life, that if you have a piece of Israel with you in your grave, that you'll come back to the land of the living in that holy place with all of your loved ones. I'll invite family members, close family members first. One more tradition, if you'd like to abide by it, is that we don't hand the shovel to one another. Again, because though this is a task that we need to do, we don't do it willingly. So there are shovels placed on either side. You're welcome to come now. Anyone else who'd like to shovel earth is more than welcome to.
They're all throwing them into the grave.
Yeah.
So when you're in rowing pools, they're going into the right? Okay. I shuffle for both of them.
Friends, we'll ask you to gather around as we'll be concluding the service shortly with the final prayer of Kaddish.
I asked the rabbi who was going to be doing Coffin. I was there for Elaine Kaufman. I said I was cut that. Elaine Kaufman. I beg your pardon? No. Take it the white girl.
Yeah, Darwin first.
You know, okay. You want to start with one? With the flowing top. Let me see, you never do what? I never heard that either. Usually you hand it to someone else. Well, you know, everybody has different customs. Did you give it to someone else? Is that what you mean? Well, it
Friends, we're just about to gather to say the mourner's Kaddish. So, we're going to conclude by saying the mourner's Kaddish, which is found on the back of your sheet, both in Hebrew and in transliteration. If you would like to stay afterwards to see the grave filled, you're more than welcome to stay to see the grave filled. The family is also meeting at Hemingway's restaurant at 4:45, 45 minutes from now. And they welcome anyone to join them. So, the mourner's Kaddish, if you'd like to rise and are able to rise, please do. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbi, v'yalma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam o'olmei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yatadar, v'ytaleh, v'ytalal, shemei dekudusha brithu. La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God grant peace to those who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, as we say, amen. It's customary to end a Jewish funeral service by saying, may you go forth in peace to life. So may you go forth in peace. May you have arguments about the Chicago Police and the Chicago Teachers Union. May you play a great game of bridge. May you listen to music that makes you happy, and may you adorn yourself with beautiful things, all in memory of Mae. Peace to you.
Friends, again, at this time, this does conclude our services, and this will conclude the live stream as well. For those of you who wish to return to your cars, you're more than welcome as we conclude with the final interment. If you wish to remain for that, you're also welcome. Thank you.